Welcome back, folks. It is my distinct honor at this time to welcome to the podium our contest chair, distinguished Toastmaster Kathleen Kuznicki.
So last year, before I chaired the humorous speech contest, Mr. Mike Dalton told me I had to warm up the audience first. Like, oh my gosh, for humorous speech? I'm a lawyer. And to even top it off, I'm a patent attorney, so I am the nerd of all lawyers. How am I supposed to warm the audience up? And now for a Tall Tales contest, what am I supposed to do? Well, in my capacity as an attorney, I'm a member of the Pittsburgh Intellectual Property Law Association, or HIPLA. So we had the audacity one year to ask Professor Mark Yockum from Duquesne University to give us the sex with your clients talk. And he came up, he said, I'm very honored to be here, but I'm very surprised. I didn't know patent attorneys had sex. Are you just looking for a few pointers? So, my attempt at a Tall Tales. Thank you, everybody. All right. So welcome to the District 13 Tall Tales Contest. I'm your contest chair, if you didn't know, Kathleen Kuznicki, and it's an honor and pleasure to host this morning's contest. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Toastmasters International Organization's mission is to empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. Speech contests are an important part of the Toastmasters educational program. They provide an opportunity for Toastmasters to gain speaking experience, as well as an opportunity for other Toastmasters to learn by observing proficient speakers. Serving more than 270,000 members in 14,000 clubs in 150 countries, Toastmasters is truly where leaders are made. As we begin the Tall Tales contest, please turn off all smartphones, dumb phones, tablets, or any device that could cause a distraction during the contest. The audience is to remain seated while contestants are speaking. The doors will remain closed during the contest. If you must leave the room, please do so during the minute of silence between contests. You may re-enter the room before the next contestant begins his or her speech, or after they have finished speaking. The taking of photographs during the contest is not permitted. There will be photo opportunities, as you know from this group, directly after the contest. The contestants have been briefed. Madam Chief Judge, have the contestant officials been briefed? Yes. I will now go over the speaking order for the contestants. Contestant 1, Lindsay Bayham. Contestant 2, Leonard Sunday. Contestant 3, Nate Stevens. Contestant 4, Jim Switzer. Contestant 5, Nathaniel Sandstrom. Contestant 6, Donna Morosco. Contestant 7, Sue Malls. And contestant 8, Deborah Slocum. I would like to call to the podium now contestant number 1, Lindsay Bayham, The Adventures of Thelma and Lindsay. The Adventures of Thelma and Lindsay, Lindsay Bayham.
Thank you, Madam Contest Chair. Toastmasters, guests, Let me tell you about this time I was rescuing about 20 cats from an abandoned property. We get there, we're assessing these 27 cats, and we realize we have to come up with a plan for these 38 cats. So these 47 cats have to go to foster. Of all the possible cats to come home with me, I got Miss Thelma. She came home with me for a few days. I get Thelma home. I'm about to put her in her luxury accommodations in my basement. Thelma says, "Get me out of here." Jumps out of my arms and runs directly into a crack in my wall. "You gotta be kidding me!" So I walk over and I see her in the crack. And I reach in. She's just out of reach. I'm reaching and ah! Okay, I fell through the wall. Okay, look down. I'm looking for scratches, bruises, giant basement spiders. And I look down and I see fur and claws and a tail. Oh my God, I'm a cat. I fell through my wall. I'm a cat. Okay, I can handle this. All right, okay. And then I look around. There's a catnip forest and a sunbeam valley. There's no can openers or squirt bottles. This is cat paradise. I am in cat paradise. I look over. Thelma's my new best friend. We start strutting our stuff through cat paradise. We are wandering through this whisker wonderland, and of course, the first stop is catnip forest. And we're having a great time in the catnip forest. It's so good. We love catnip forest. We continue wandering our way through this whisker wonderland, and I see something out of the corner of my eye. What is that? Before I can even register, I pounce onto it. It's a laser dot. It's there and it's nowhere. They're just all over the place. They're everywhere. They're nowhere. These demon dots of deception. Thelma and I are having a blast, bapping our murder mittens all over the place. But my goodness, that works up quite a thirst. So we scamper on over to Toe Bean Cafe, where we're going to have a lovely cup of catnip tea. We get the best seat in the house, an old Amazon box by the window, where we can look at the world and judge them, because we're cats. It's what we do. Once we're done with our catnip tea, we wander around to see what else Cat Paradise has to offer. But because I'm a cat, I just get this urge to bap Thelma. Again, I'm a cat, so I do it. I bap her. She returns in favor. We are bapping right through Biscuit Making Factory, rabbit kicking through Cat Paradise Cafe. We come to a stop, jump apart. And I hear a click. Oh no, oh my God, Thelma. Oh, I closed the door and we're in the police department. Closed doors are illegal in Cat Paradise. The police are closing in. They're gonna put us in the doghouse. Thelma, what are we gonna do? Oh, I look at Thelma. She gives me a feline smile, I think because she's a cat. And she gestures to a door. I figure she looks like she has a plan. I'll follow you, Thelma. This is Cat Paradise. We can do anything. Thelma, this is a garage. We are cats. We can do anything. We cannot drive. But okay, police are closing in. I hear the sirens, the wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. And I look at Thelma. She hops right into a little police car. 9 lives to the wind. I hop right in with her. She revs that engine. It purrs like we do. Paw in paw, she winks at me, slams on that accelerator. We burst through the walls of the police department, and we slam right down into my basement. It was a dream? Why do I smell like catnip? And is that a hairball? Madam Contest Chair.
Timer, may we please have 1 minute of silence Please let me know when 1 minute is up. Our next contestant is Leonard Sunday, four-legged folderol. Four-legged folderol, Leonard Sunday.
Thank you, Madam Contest Chair. Toastmasters, from my teenage years come fondest memories of my dog Wolf. He was an Alaskan Husky Wolf mix. He was cute, cuddly, and 125 pounds big. He could clear a 6-foot fence with ease, and he loved to run and run and run and run. Whenever he got loose, people would call animal control reporting that they saw Wolf. My father would have to go to the pound, fill out the paperwork, pay the fines, and bring him home. He hated it whenever Wolf went off the leash or on the loose. And he would tell all of us, never take him out by yourselves. Always bring your brothers. Go as a pack. Dogs follow in packs. One day, my brothers Joey, Mikey, and I, and our friends John and Jimmy decide we're going to go into the woods to play. We brought Wolf along with us. We went down the paved bike path about a mile, and we found our entrance into the woods. There, among the trees, Wolf began to act strangely. He strained at the leash and wouldn't respond to commands. Then, about 20 yards ahead, we saw the fluffy white tail of a deer bouncing through the brush. Aww. Immediately, Wolf takes off like a shot, dragging Mike by the leash with him. Mike had to let go of the leash before coming head on with a rock sticking out of the ground. Wolf jumps and takes off and goes through the brush. I yell to my brothers, catch him, catch him! They go through the brush, screaming and yelling. I'm like, you dummies, stop yelling, you're going to scare them. Mikey and I went down around the slope to go catch him. At the bottom, it became apparent that Wolf had jumped down a 20-foot embankment, and the other 3 fell and landed one on top of the other like pancakes. We helped them back to their feet. Then we saw Wolf further down the slope, circling, trying to pick up the deer's trail. We closed in, and I directed everyone using hand and arm signals. We surrounded our dog, but he sensed what we were up to. He went into a stance and froze. We lunged. He jumped with a snort, bouncing here, there, everywhere, breaking tackle after tackle. Finally, we caught him. Joey yells, I've got his leg. Jimmy goes, I've got his tail. I hoisted Wolf up by his torso and his neck, and I threw him over my shoulders. We looked like hog-tying champions. We trekked back up the slope. We decided we had enough fun for one day. It was time to go home. But guess what we saw when we got back to the trail? If you're thinking it was the deer, you're close. It was a squirrel on a skateboard with a sack of walnuts, and he was being chased by 3 deputies and a canine. Well, we all looked at each other and we're like, what? We didn't have time to worry about some squirrely scamp scurrying about on some skateboard. We had to get home before Dad returned from his shift at the mill. When we made it to town, we saw the streets were lined with people. Some of them were cheering, and we figured it was for us. So we went home calmly, triumphantly. We caught the wolf. Along the way, we saw those same 3 deputies, and they had that squirrel in a cage, and they confiscated his skateboard. Dun, 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 dun. Joey yells, "Skateboarding's not a crime." Deputies threw their noses at us and summoned. They got witness statements concerning the events on the trail, gave us a business card, sent us on our way. Realizing we were in the clear because none of them had asked me why I had a dog over my shoulders, we went home. And we made it with time to spare. I brought Wolf in the house, and we each swore an oath of secrecy and learned a valuable lesson. Whenever we take the dog out, it's imperative that we ensure the dog understands who the pack leader is. My father comes home, and he sees me kind of hunched over like this. He goes, "What happened to you?" I said, "It must be a crink." He goes, "Well, quit it and drink some water." From that day on, whenever we saw anything unexplained or weird, we would look at each other and be like, "Dear squirrel, dear squirrel." Madam Chair.
Timer, may we please have 1 minute of silence for the judges to do their ballots. Next contestant, Nate Stevens, Mr. Grapefruit. Mr. Grapefruit, Nate Stevens.
Thank you, Contest Chair.
You're welcome.
It's never a good sign when somebody asks you about what you're wearing and then asks if you've lost a bet. Fellow Toastmasters guest contest chair, I was wearing this because I was about to go on my dream vacation to France. Amazon recommended that I wear this because that way I would fit in. The trip all started out at this train station in Paris. I remember like it was yesterday. There I was with this large group of people, this rather eccentric tour guide. "Oh, Monsieur Stevens, it's so lovely to see you. This week we shall see all the highlights of Paris, as well as the beautiful French countryside, which is so magnifique." Oh, I always wanted to get an eyeful of Paris. But I only knew 2 words of French. However, I was really good at interpreting things, and I assumed "c'est magnifique" meant "get on the train over here." I got on the train only to realize no one from my group is with me. The train starts to move. My tour guide's frantically waving to me from the platform. I figured the train has to stop sometime. I'll just get off and get on the next train, head back to Paris. Except the train went on and on and on until it finally stopped at this small village. When I got off the train, I realized I didn't have any luggage. I didn't have a cell phone. And worst of all, I only knew 2 words of French. Bonjour for hello. Pamplemousse for grapefruit. I was extremely hungry, start to wander around. Luckily, I found a restaurant. When I walked in there, a waiter hands me a menu. I don't know what any of these words mean. And I ask him, English? Oh, no, Francais. Oh. Rather to point to something blindly, I just said, pamplemousse? He leaves, comes back, hands me a grapefruit. Oh, well, I really wanted some bread, but I just didn't know how to bag it. I'm wandering around the town trying to find a way to get back to Paris. I had no idea. Eventually, I came across this man and I said bonjour to him. And he starts talking to me in French. I have no idea what he's saying. And I just said, pamplemousse? He disappears, comes back, hands me a grapefruit. Oh, this goes on forever. I'm trying to find my way back. It goes for hours, which turn to days, which turns to weeks, which turn to months. Eventually, I'm almost completely out of Monet. Thankfully, the people in the town take pity on me, and they allow me to stay at this museum at night. But during the day, people from all around come by to see me and hand me grapefruits. This one day, a large group of people was coming with a tour guide, and I heard that tour guide.
Next we shall see Monsieur Pamplemousse, the man who only eats the grapefruit.
I know that voice. And before I knew it, my tour guide's staring at me.
Monsieur Stevens, where have you been?
I've been here all along eating nothing but grapefruit because that's the only word I know for a food in French.
Oh, monsieur, I hate to be bearer of bad news, but there are many common words between the English and the Francais. For instance, as you say croissant, we say croissant. As you say pizza, we say pizza. As you say hamburger, we say hamburger.
Oh, I could have been eating pizzas and hamburgers all along. I did get back together with my group, and I did make it back home, learning some valuable lessons. When life hands you lemons, you make lemonade. When life hands you grapefruits, it's your own fault for not knowing a better word in French. Contest chair.
Timer, may we please have 1 minute of silence? Our next contestant is Jim Switzer. A lesson from the fly. A lesson from the fly. Jim Switzer.
Thank you, Madam Contest Chair.
You're welcome.
I would like to tell you personally, you are so much more than a chair. You're a wonderful person. Give yourself some credit. Toastmasters, KitchenAids, Frigidaires. A lesson from the fly. The life of the fly is hard. Most people generally don't like flies. We try to figure out ways to get rid of flies. Can anybody tell me what this is? Fly swatter. Yes, fly swatter. It's not a bee swatter. Bees eat nectar and vomit honey. How sweet. It's not a butterfly swatter. We would never think of crushing a butterfly. No, we catch them and pin them to corkboard. With flies, it's different. People just cannot stand flies. Thus was the life for our hero today. From the moment he arose like Phoenix out of that deer carcass out along the parkway, life was difficult. Life was very difficult. Dodging windshields, narrowly escaping the Baker boys who caught him and tried to pull his wings off, and then a near-death experience with a fly ribbon where he lost a leg. Life was a struggle. Until one day he finally worked his way out into the country, found himself in a nice quiet place on a farm. Life was easy, weather was decent, plenty of food, but nothing very exciting ever happened until one day it was like a miracle. As he's flying out over the pasture, he looks down and he sees what is a fly's dream. A fresh, steamy pile of cow manure. Now, I want you folks to know, I would never ever dream of putting fresh cow manure up here on this stage. So I brought some canned stuff. He spies that pile of cow manure, and he just turns right around. So fast, in fact, he almost went into a spin. He turns around, and he makes a beeline for that pile of cow manure. On the way down, he pulls out his spoon, and as he approaches, the spoon makes first contact. He dives right in. I mean, nobody else has even touched this pile. He eats and eats and eats and eats until he's nice and full. And he decides to go away. He's had enough. He's walking away from the pile, and he thinks to himself, you know, this doesn't happen every day. I think I need to go back for some more. So he goes back. He eats and eats and eats and eats some more. Turns to go away. Same thing happens again. This probably will not be here when I get back. I'm going to go back and get some more. So he goes back and he gets some more, eats and eats and eats until he is so full he cannot possibly hold anymore. He can chew, but he can't swallow. He decides to himself, you know what, I've had enough. I need to leave. It's getting late. It's time to go home. So he turns and he flaps his wings. Nothing. He is so full he can't move. So he gets himself a little bit of a run, flaps his wings. Nothing. Nothing. He is grounded. And now he's starting to get a little concerned. What was that? Was that a frog croaking? Not good. Ooh, I think that's a bird up there. So now he's desperate. He's got to go. So he looks around, tries to figure out what am I going to do, when off in the distance he spies Hope, a pitchfork stuck in the ground. So he walks over as fast as he can, tries to run, but he's too full to run. And remember, he's only got 5 legs. He gets over to that pitchfork, and he gets up on that time. He starts at the bottom, works his way clear up to the top of the handle, and by now he's exhausted. He just needs to rest. So he sits down, catches his breath, calms himself down, and finally it's time. He stands up, he checks wind speed, he checks wind direction. He unfurls his wings, he flaps and he leaps and he's flying, he's sinking, he's falling, splat, all over the ground. Nothing but cow poop and fly parts for miles. Now we're talking fly miles here, so it was about that big. But our hero is dead. Now this is the sad part of the story, so if anybody needs to use my handkerchief, just say the word, you're welcome to it. Our hero is dead. But Toastmasters, Toast children, our hero did not die in vain, because he teaches us a very valuable lesson, one that we as leaders all need to learn. And I'm sure that you're all thinking right now, he's going to say, when you come to the fork in the road, take it. But no, that's not the moral of the story. The moral of the story is this: we should never fly off the handle when we're full of crap.
timer. May we have 1 minute of silence? Our next contestant is Nathaniel Sandstrom, the gift of the Everwood. The gift of the Everwood, Nathaniel Sandstrom.
Thank you, Madam Contest Chair.
Again, please.
Thank you, Madam Contest Chair.
You're welcome.
Whenever I'm around a fire, I am reminded of the moment I discovered I had the gift. It was 1980. I was at the cottage up the coast of Lake Michigan, northeast of Chicago, that my great-great-grandfather, Tomas, had constructed in 1886 on the ruins of an old blacksmith shop that had burned to the ground in a fiery inferno in 1871. There are rumors that the flames were bright green and whispers that dark magic had caused the fire. Nobody who knew better would touch that land, but Tomas did not believe in magic, so he snatched it up and started building. It was my first time at the cottage without my family. A summer alone with Gigi and Grandpandy. Now, Grandpandy was just a grizzled old teddy bear, but Gigi, with her shrunken frame and her wrinkled skin, reminded me of a witch. Not just because of her appearance, but also because of the fear she engendered when she wasn't doting on you. But really, she only had 2 rules. No shoes in the house, and no children in the basement. And yet, not 2 nights after we arrived, I found myself at the top of the stairs, being pulled by a force within me that I did not recognize and could not resist, down those stairs and across the basement floor into the fireplace in the basement, where I felt compelled to reach up and touch those sooty What are you doing in there? I jumped. Gigi was standing at the base of the stairs. Why are you down here? I raced across the room to her side and I said, I don't know. I just couldn't not come down. Carl! That was Grandpandy's real name. Carl! I could hear his heavy steps clomping across the floor above us and then down those stairs into the basement. I think you may be right. We'll see. And Grandpandy disappeared behind the stairs as I watched my grandmother, the 80-year-old woman, step into the fireplace, take out a brick, and remove 2 glass vials, each filled with a mysterious substance, one bright blue, the other bright green. As she climbed out of the fireplace, Grandpandy emerged from behind the stairs in the dark, carrying in 3 sticks of firewood in his bare hands that were already on fire. He threw the logs into the fireplace, looked at me and said, "We believe you have the gift. The gift of the Everwood. What's everwood? Those logs are everwood. If you have a fire burning with everwood, it will burn forever. And if you have the gift and the keys, Gigi said, you can move between worlds. No way! But as if to prove me wrong, Gigi grabbed a pinch of that blue dust, threw it on the flames, it roared to life, bright blue, and then that 86-year-old woman stepped into the flames and disappeared. No! Calm down. She's fine. She'll be back. And a moment later, the flames burst to life again, this time bright green, and my grandmother stepped out unscathed, looked at me and said, now you. No way. You must. The only way to prove you have the gift is to use it. And I felt that force within me, pulling me to my feet, and then into the fireplace where I, a 10-year-old boy, stepped directly into the flames and everything went black. But I took another step, and I found myself under a bright light on a cliff overlooking a barren plain burning beneath two blazing suns. Nathaniel? I spun around. There was a woman behind me about the age of my mother. She swept me into her arms and said, oh, it's true. What's true? You have the gift. I have the gift. But you can't stay. You must go. If you're here too long, they'll sense you and come for us. My sister, your grandmother, will explain everything. And with that, she threw green dust on the fire, which blew up bright green and practically threw me into the flames, and everything went black. Now, whenever I'm around a fire, I wonder who else may have the gift. Thank you.
Timer, may we please have 1 minute? Our next contestant is Donna Morosco. What's in a name? What's in a name? Donna Morosco.
Thank you, Madam Contest Chair.
You're welcome.
For 25 years, I was married to a man named Bruce. This was the name that was in my head. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, when Bruce and I were no more, I had a friend named Ron, And Ron asked me if I would accompany him to an outpatient surgery center where he was going to have surgery on his shoulder. He needed to have a designated driver with him because there was going to be anesthesia involved. I said, I'm happy to help. On the day of the surgery, I had to check into a large waiting room where there were many other people in the room. I had to sign in. I am Ron's designated driver. I will stay in the vicinity in the event that a doctor or a team member needs to speak with me. After waiting there for several hours, finally the side door swung open and in the doorway stood a doctor in green scrubs. He called out in the room, "Who's here with Bruce?" "I am," I said. Automatically, my arm went up. The doctor came into the waiting room, sat down right beside me in the chair, flipped open his laptop computer, and he started to speak. He said, he's doing well. It was his knee, it was damaged, and it was a meniscus tear. I was able to make the repair. And here are some pictures before and after of the knee. I looked at these pictures of knees on the computer and I thought to myself, why am I looking at pictures of knees when Ron came in with a problem with his shoulder? And then the doctor said to me, Bruce is doing well. He's in recovery now. Would you like to come back and see him? And I said, Bruce? Well, of course I want to come back in the recovery area and see Bruce because I'm here with Bruce. At this point, I thought this was the correct and proper thing to do because I was pretty sure at this point there might have been a law broken or maybe a crime committed, HIPAA, identity theft of some sort. So I decided to follow the doctor back into the recovery area where I saw a man in a wheelchair, a man I had never seen before in my life. And I looked at him and I said, "Hi, honey, how you doing?" Doctor said you did great, sweetheart. And Bruce looked up at me and he said, "Who are you? And where is my wife?" Doctor, is he just a little bit confused? Because he had some anesthesia. I heard that can do that to people sometimes. He's just like a little bit loopy. And the doctor said, well, it's possible. And I said, well, maybe I could just take him for a little stroll down the hallway, to try to calm him down a little bit. Well, sure, that would be fine, he said. So I took Bruce in the wheelchair and I started down the hallway, and Bruce was screaming and yelling, "Help me," and making a lot of noise. So I did what any normal sane person would do. I looked for the nearest exit, which I found out the back door, down a ramp and into the parking lot, where I took Bruce, and he was still making quite a ruckus, and he was trying to bite me, and he was spitting on me and yelling, so I did what any normal sane person would do. I took off my scarf and I said, "Bruce," I wrapped it around him, and I said, "If you will calm down just a little bit, I will take the gag off of you, and I will take you back into the hospital, and you will never have to see me again in your life." He agreed. So I took the gag off of him, and I wheeled him back up the ramp and into the hospital area, and I pushed that wheelchair into the room, and then I did what any normal sane person would do. I did a 180 and I got the heck out of there, back down the ramp and into the parking lot. And then I realized I need to be back in that waiting room because I am Ron's designated driver. But perhaps I need to alter my appearance just a little bit so nobody will recognize me. And as luck would have it, there was a dollar store through the parking lot, so I ran through the parking lot and got to the dollar store, and I thought there's got to be something here that I can find, and as luck would have it, I found a wig, and I put the wig on. Well, this looks good, and then I found some glasses, and I thought, well, this is going to be good, and then I thought, I'm going to run back and try to apply some lipstick because Bruce had spit in my face quite a bit, and my makeup was all messed up, and I thought I have to try to look somewhat presentable here. So I ran back up to the desk in the waiting room. I said to the woman, "Has anyone called for Ron's designated driver yet?" She said, no one's called for Ron's designated driver yet, but you look like the lady that was here for Bruce. I said, "Are you kidding? That Contest Chair.
Timer, can we have 1 minute of silence, please? Our next speaker is Sue Malls, the land of missing socks. The land of missing socks. Sue Malls. You're welcome.
Thank you, Madam Contest Chair.
You're welcome.
Once upon a time, actually, just last week when I was folding my laundry, I noticed that I was missing my favorite sock. Here is the soul mate of that missing sock. I went downstairs into my dryer. I opened the door. I looked in. No sock. Then I looked behind the dryer and I realized there was a huge gaping hole where the dryer vent goes into the wall. And I saw the tip of my missing sock in that tube. As I lunged for it, I fell off balance and I started to slide down, down, down that tube until finally, poof, I fell into a huge pile of socks. There were red socks, yellow socks, blue socks, green socks, socks of every shape, style, and color. Couldn't believe it. I leaned back for a moment, rubbed my eyes. Was I dreaming? I was not. And I thought to myself, what is going on? When all of a sudden, the sock pile in front of me started to move toward me. It was like an alligator under the water coming straight for me. And all of a sudden, up popped a mouse head. He had a little red knit cap and a blue velour vest with 3 gold buttons. And when he noticed me, he said, "Eek! You cannot be here." And I said, "Look, buddy, I am trying to find my missing sock. Can you help me find my missing sock?" And the mouse looked at me with his little beady eyes, and he said to me, "Follow me." And we started to slalom ski down this huge pile of sock for what seemed like minutes. And when we reached the bottom of that sock pile, I looked back up, and I saw that sock pile was as tall as the Egyptian pyramids. Couldn't believe it. And when I looked off into the distance in the corner of that huge sock pyramid, I noticed a long line of empty wheelbarrows going toward it and a long line of full wheelbarrows filled with socks coming away from it. And as I looked closer, I realized that it was all propelled by mice. I ran and I caught up to my sock guide, my mouse sock guide, and I said, "What is going on?" We entered into a long corridor and I moved on the left and I saw that there were sewing rooms filled with mice doing some sewing. And on the right, there were rooms where mice were being fitted for fine Italian suits. And I ran, and I finally caught up with my mouse guide, and I asked him, "What is this place?" And he said, "This," proudly, "this is the land of missing socks." I said, "That's great, but what do you do here?" And he said, "We break them down, and we build them up. Basically, we recycle socks. We make them into clothes for humans, mice, and all sorts of other creatures. We sell them on the internet." Last year, we made $2.2 billion. That's right, $2.2 billion in profit. I said, "That is really great, but I still do not have my missing sock. Can you help me?" The mouse looked at me with his little beady eyes, and he said, "Follow me." And we started to walk down this long corridor that got progressively darker as we went. Finally, at the very end, there was a room. As my eyes adjusted, I noticed there was one single incandescent light bulb, and the mouse went up and he hit the call button, and slowly the elevator came down. It was one of those New York City style elevators where it had wrought iron front. The doors clanged open, and the mouse came toward me, and he ran around my ankles 3 times, threw me off balance, shoved me into the elevator, and then all of a sudden the mouse came up and he banged the up button, and I saw that mouse get smaller and smaller and smaller, and I was hurtling upward, upward, upward until I broke through the ceiling, and I was starting to skydive down, 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 all the way until finally, boom, I hit the ground. I realized I was okay, but I was in my backyard. I still did not have my sock, but at least I learned where missing socks go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever think you're missing a sock or some other article of clothing, you aren't missing it. It just goes to the land of missing socks. Madam Contest Chair.
Yes, timer, may we please have 1 minute? Our next speaker is Deborah Slocum. A tree grows in Penn Hills. A tree grows in Penn Hills. Deborah Slocum.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Person.
You're welcome.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Don't mind the leaves. I'm covered in them. They follow me wherever I go. But I'm going to tell you about a tree that grows or grew in Penn Hills. The tree was owned by 2 lovely old ladies.
You might be looking at one of those old ladies. The tree was the only tree on a cul-de-sac. It was lovely, a big oak tree. And every fall, the leaves would fall, as they did here. Now, I wanted you to remember some good trees. There was the giving tree. There was the tree that grew in Brooklyn. And there was the tree of life. But let me remind you of some, shall we say, shady trees. Some wicked trees. You remember Poltergeist? There was a tree that tried to eat the little boy. Even in The Wizard of Oz, the tree told Dorothy, "Do I go around picking things off of you?" Well, our tree was somewhere in the middle. It was beautiful. It was big. It was the only tree on the cul-de-sac. And every year, the sweet old ladies, the sweet old ladies, we would pick up the leaves. We would bag the leaves. We would rake the leaves. We even went out and bought a leaf blower. And we were so sweet. But then we turned kind of ugly because our neighbors would complain. Your leaves are on our beautiful manicured lawns. What are you going to do about your leaves? Your leaves are always out here. We paid people to remove the leaves. And then one day, we looked up the ordinances. And in Penn Hills, there is no ordinance to pick up your leaves. So the sweet old ladies, as we are, we decided to let the leaves fall where they may. Our neighbors hated us. They disliked us so much. We didn't care. We would sit on our porch and we'd watch the leaves fall where they may. And then one day, we were watching and a windstorm came. Now, it was tornado strength. I was always told there's no tornadoes in western Pennsylvania. But that was wrong. That mighty oak started to sway and creak and cringe and creak and cringe. Those old ladies read their insurance policies, home insurance policy. Figured out that could go into our house. That's not covered. So with a mighty timber, that tree was gone. The neighbors were so happy. They gave a block party. We were wonderful again. But fall, the leaves came. There was no tree, but the leaves were there. And every year since then, the leaves, as they say, they kind of follow me and cover me and follow everybody else's lawn but mine. So I'm inviting you all, come, see those sweet old ladies, sit on our porch, have some tea, listen to the rustling of the leaves. Please come.
And now we may keep the room silent until let our judges fill out their ballots. God help them. And please wait for the ballot counters and the chief judge to leave, and then we'll conduct the client survey contestant interviews. right. Okay, everybody. Well, first of all, let's give a round of applause for everybody. Oh, my gosh. I'm glad I was the contest chair. Thank you very much. Now we're going to do one of my favorite parts of the contest, our contestant interviews. And I'm going to call the contestants alphabetized by their last name, which also happens to be our first contestant, is also our first person. So let's give a pause to Lindsay Bam. Pick up the microphone. There we go. Here's your participant certificate. And first of all, let me say your outfit is perfect for your speech for today. And you told us here, so first of all, what club are you representing today, and how long have you been in Toastmasters?
Thermo Fisher Toastmasters. And let's see, what time is it? All right, so about 42 days and 3 hours I've been a Toastmaster.
All right. Well, thank you for braving the contest today. And you have interests. Now, believe it or not, one of her interests is cats. I'm a big surprise there. But also roller coasters, running, fitness. I think that was her whole speech. But tell us about crochet. I don't think I talked to you about crocheting.
Yes, I love to crochet poorly. I have never finished a project. My stepdaughter has, actually. She took it up after me. She finished her first project before I've ever finished one. But I love to do it, and I have a little knitting group that I meet up with. They all knit because they're much more talented than I am, and I crochet and we drink coffee or beer, depending on where we're at.
All right. And just a little briefly, tell us about how you're going to make the world better.
I do that every day, I think. So I'm a stepmother, which is a whole host of challenges in addition to being a regular mother. I also foster cats. Thelma's a real cat. Thelma was adopted. Thelma really did go into my wall. Thelma went into the wall in her new adopted home. I am not making that up. I foster cats. I rescue cats. And I volunteer at the cat rescue. We are Nose to Tail Cat Rescue in McDonald if you're from the area. Those are the number 1 and 2 ways I try to make the world a better place.
All right, thank you. Just put the microphone down there. All right. Our next contestant is Sue Malls. Please come up, Sue Malls. Thank you for answering one of the world's most enduring, questions. When you do your laundry and you match your socks up, one's always missing, isn't it? Now we know. Thank you very much. Can you please tell us what club you're representing today and how long you've been in Toastmasters?
Yes, I am representing the Toastmasters Ambassadors Club. We meet in Homestead, and it is a virtual club as well as an in-person club. The virtual club's second Wednesdays of each month. Please stop by virtually. Jerry Horn, my fellow Toastmasters ambassador, he gave me the special powers, so I'm happy about that. And I've been a Toastmaster since 2013, the year after my father passed. I'm like, how can I become better? And I became a club coach to earn my DTM with Ambassadors Toastmasters. Prior to that, I was part of the Monroeville Club for many years, and I stayed on, and I really enjoy the Ambassadors Toastmasters Club.
Okay, thank you very much. Now it says here, interest and hobbies are hiking, but plein air painting. What does that mean? Plein air painting and sketching.
Yes, plein air painting is a French term for painting outside. I don't know that I'm a oil person. I tried that a little bit. I'm a sketcher. I've always loved to draw. As I said at the division contest, I had the same question, so sorry for the repeat. That I've always liked to draw, and after winning that second grade coloring contest, it's had me hooked. So I always carry around with me a little sketch pad and a little watercolor set, so you can just sketch wherever you're at, waiting in the room while somebody's having surgery, and or at moments at the airport, etc. But it's basically painting outside to be in nature, so it melds quite nicely with hiking around. I've been trying to make my way through more of the local hiking areas, and I always enjoy nature.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
There we go. There we go. All right. Next, I would like to call up Donna Morosco. Now, you with Bruce, Ron? I'm a little confused on what's going on.
I'm with Jack.
Whoa. I wish we knew this last night. Woo. Oh, man. Okay, so What club are you representing today, and how long have you been in Toastmasters?
South Hills Toastmasters.
All right.
I've been a Toastmaster for about 5.5 years now.
Okay. Now it says here you're retired from a 36-year career of self-employed from State Farm, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It looks like you're enjoying your retirement, going to hospitals with random men, but
Yeah, I did retire about 3 years ago. Love retirement, yes.
Okay,
Love
and
retirement.
it says here one of your interests is cooking and time with loved ones. Do you cook and have time with loved ones? Is that
I
part
love
of you
to do both, cook
Yes?
and have time with loved ones. Yes, I love to feed and nourish the bellies and the souls of anybody who will come to my house. And I just love to make meals for people and host events. And I love my family and my friends and everybody who supports me. Yeah, I've got a good group of folks around me that I just adore. And yes, if I can feed them, I like to make good food for them.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Very good. All right, so next up, I'd like to call up Nate Nathaniel Sundstrom. Yes. Sorry. Stephanie put Nate on your thing here. Sorry. There. Can you? Yes, I was going to say Stephanie put Nate on it, but she can probably give you another one if you wanted to say Nathaniel. No, that's fine. Okay. So what club are you representing today, and how long have you been in Toastmasters?
I am representing Bakery Square. I've been in Toastmasters about 18 months now, roughly, give or take a year.
Give or take. Okay. And it says here, what inspires you the most is the victory of an underdog. So what's your favorite underdog story?
Well, I would say my favorite underdog story. I don't know if I have a favorite underdog story. There are so many underdog stories, but I like Rocky, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Wasn't he?
There we go. I'm sorry. I forgot to give you the microphone.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like to see the unfavored succeed. Those who are down thrive. So.
Okay. And it says here, your favorite quote is, you were only given one little spark of madness. You mustn't lose it. What does that mean to you?
That's a quote from Robin Williams, and I really love the idea that each of us is a little bit crazy inside, at least when we start out. And I think a lot of us, or a lot of people, lose that craziness. And it's important to hold on to what makes you a little bit different, and to try and continue to see the world in a different way. And so that's what it means to me.
Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, so next up is our Penn Hills resident, Deborah Slocum. There we go. All right, so tell us what club you're representing today and how long you have been in Toastmasters.
The little club that could helps on Smithfield.
Okay.
Been in Toastmasters 16 year, charter member of Helps on Smithfield, sponsored Helps on Smithfield. So,
Okay. Good. First of all, may I tell you, I love your glasses. It matches her outfit. Did you get them just for the contest?
No.
Okay.
No, I did not.
But they look great on you.
Thank you.
Very much. So it says your favorite quote is, life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated, by Confucius. Please tell us about that.
Well, Confucius and I have the same body type. So I do love that. I think as I get older, the problems that I had when I was younger, I would think about that, and I'm like, really, what was that all about? Really, what was that all about? Try getting out of bed in the morning, without an ache or pain or something like that. I think we spend too much time worrying about things that we shouldn't. I look back and think about, well, did this match? And is anybody going to notice that I put on weight? And is this, and it's like, get over yourselves. Go on. There's so many more things in life than to worry about that. We make life very complicated. We do.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you
very much. All right. Next up, I would like to call Nate Stevens. You're a little hand at this. Can you tell us what club you're representing today, and how long have you been with us Toastmasters?
I am representing the BPMI Toastmasters Club. All right, thank you so much. I've been a member of Toastmasters for 23 years.
Okay. Now, give me real. Do you actually ever eat grapefruit, or just?
I actually cannot stand it at all. but it was fun to give a speech about it.
There we go. Okay. And here, tell us about your favorite quote. If you first don't succeed, then skydiving's not for you.
That quote is from Stephen Wright, and I actually have a coworker that loves to skydive. The two of us cannot be further apart. He is adventurous. He is a thrill seeker. I know those words, and I enjoy his stories, but you cannot imagine me getting on a plane and jumping out of it.
Okay, do that. And it says here, you inspires you is amazing guitar solos.
Yes, indeed. I've been playing guitar for a number of years, and I love guitar solos. There are a lot of them that really stand out. I really like blues guitar. Jimi Hendrix was one of my biggest influences. I'd love to play like him someday, but I'm okay not playing like that. I just enjoy playing and listening to really good guitar music.
Okay, well, thank you very much. All right. All right. All right. Our next contestant talking will be Leonard Sunday. Leonard Sunday. There you go. There you go. You're welcome. What club are you representing today, and how long or short have you been in Toastmasters?
Early Birds Toastmaster number 2255 from Butler, PA.
Okay.
Since mid-September.
Very good. Okay, so thank you for competing today. So it
Thank you
says
for
here,
having me.
your interests are coin collecting and woodworking. Which one do you like best, or either, or both?
I'm a big fan of history, so coin collecting is pretty big to me, but I love woodworking because of the spiritual part of it. I love trees, and every time I look at a tree, I think, okay, how many board foot can I get out of that? What beautiful thing can I make? And so when I grew up, the house I grew up in was an old Victorian, and the woodwork was just amazing. The molding, the crown, the paneling, everything, the banisters, everything was just, I just grew up in a house. And every time I walk past a Victorian, I think, I wonder if they have oak or walnut.
Okay. And it says, what inspires you are people who take risks to help others. Can you talk to us about that?
Being the oldest of 7, I took a lot of risks for my brothers, especially when they messed around. Dad would crack me once or twice because his belief was, well, if they're doing something wrong, it's because you're doing something wrong, or they're doing something wrong and you're not stopping them. The other thing is 20 years in the military, and that's part of the territory. It's part of the job description. And then currently I help people in recovery. So it helps me by helping them. It helps me get over myself just long enough to see some good in the world.
Okay,
and some in myself.
Yeah, and I believe you have your proof is you're military?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
You take care. All right. Now our next contestant, we're going to get the microphone. There we go. Thank you. I'm sorry. Got to grab that. All right, I realized I was missing something there. Our next contestant, please welcome Jim Switzer. Brave man showing up here on overalls and a tie. That's awesome.
Just so everybody knows, I was trying to figure out what to wear. I just couldn't. Jane Humphreys picked out my outfit.
Oh, yes, so she is the fashion diva, so yes,
Yes,
I would definitely
yes.
trust her on everything.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you, Jane.
Can you please tell us what club you're representing today and how long you've been in Toastmasters?
Well, the early birds, and I actually started the same day as Len.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, now it has your noticeable accomplished in awards, and I don't know how our Lindsay's going to feel about this, but you said you've discovered 19 ways to skin cats.
It's still working. Still working. Never give up. Never give up. Yes.
Okay, and it also says cats inspire you the most.
Yes. Yes. I love cats. They're so functional. So useful, and you can do so many things with them. I'm actually contemplating new things right now. But it's a passion for me. No, really, we have 2 cats at home, and I love them both very much. But I had to give smart alecky answers on that. I don't know why I have to do that, but I have an appointment scheduled with my therapist.
Okay, and we'll try to keep you and Lindsay separated for the rest of the day. Here's your thing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. There we go. All right. All right. So kind of chatter amongst yourself while we wait for the contest winners the chief judge to come back with the contest winners. Thank you. Okay. All right, everybody, it's been requested that the contestants come up with their participation certificates to get their photograph taken as a group. So if you competed, please come up. I know who you are. Come on. Yep, the tall man. Whatever the photographer, where are we missing someone here? There's only 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, who are we missing? 8. Sue, there she is. She's behind you. I was like, wait a minute, who we're missing? All right. All right, you guys gonna have to scrunch in, I think, a little bit. Pretend you like each other. Come on. All right. All right, Cameron, direct us. All right, thank you, everybody. Okay. All right. All right. Is there, Kathy? Was there any disqualifications for time? All right, because I should announce. I need to announce that. Okay. All right. I'm assuming you're giving the trophies? You're giving the trophies out? Okay. All right. All right. So if you want to, I don't know if you want to stand. Okay. All right, everybody. Can I have your attention, please? This is what we've all been waiting for. Again, everyone here did great. There were no losers. There were only winners today. But let's give everybody a round of applause who did that, first of all. And now I'm going to start announcing the winners. Are we going to get some music going here for this? All right, everybody. Third place, Lindsay Bayham.
Crazy, 24-hour party. Clock strike 1 up on the roof. Clock strike 2, I'm busting moves. Feel so high, I'm never coming down. Tell my friends, don't believe. Let's go hard, let's levitate. Feel so good, this time we're staying out. Staying all night up, baby. Staying all night up, no sleep.
Our second place winner, Mr. Nate Stevens.
Staying all night up, let's go. Give me what's good for my soul. It's about to get crazy. Staying all night up, staying all night up. Staying all night up, staying all night up.
Are you ready to hear the first place winner?
strike two and bust a move. Feel so high, I'm never coming down. Tell my friends don't believe. Let's go hard, let's levitate.
All right, and I guess I'm supposed to cut up our Toastmaster or need Mr. Douglas McCall to give any closing announcements and directions? Or Kathy, is that you? That'd be me. Okay. Unhook me, lady.
It's good enough. That was an awesome contest, yes? Yes. Now we're going to have a short break. Maybe like 10 minutes? 5 minutes? Is that okay in the back? 5 minutes? And then we're going to hear again from our awesome keynote speaker. We are going to learn how to sparkle when you speak, to connect authentically with our audience and all become better speakers. So 5 minutes, meet right back here. Apparently, and during your 5 minutes, you can see baskets in Baldwin and tickets from Autumn.